Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Road to the Olympia. I'm here with Coach Adam, TeamElitePhysique.com. Say hi.
Let's do this. Olympia time.
So today we're going to be doing a Q&A because I've been getting a lot of questions about my Olympia Prep, how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and all that. So you guys asked some really good questions on my Instagram, AshleyKfit. And today, Adam and I are here to answer some of them for you.
Yeah, I'm excited for this because there's some cool ones that I haven't seen yet too. So it's going to give me some insight to actually how you're feeling and everything too. I mean, we talk all the time, but this, we might get a little deeper.
Yes, you might get to know us a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get into the first question. Besides you, who has helped you become the champ you are today? Well, I guess he's sitting like right next to me. It's this guy right here. They call him Adam Bow.
Too much credit.
You have. Gosh, like I always say, like, where would I be without you? I'd be bored.
Same with me, though.
And I wouldn't have as many gains, that's for sure. I would definitely not have as much gains.
Same with me, though. You make my life a lot of fun, I'll tell you that. It's with joint value we get.
There we go.
I'll give you more credit than that. I think that what's made you become a champion today a lot of probably your previous sports experience, your previous coaching, who's in your family, who's instilled that, champion into you and that like never quit attitude, because I don't think people see that part of you. They see, oh, she likes to compete a lot. It's fun for her. And I'm like, no, you guys don't get it. Like Ashley's like, she's a killer. Like she wants to win. She wants to do her best. Like she doesn't quit ever. It's a different mentality. So people don't get it. And they're like, why do you let her compete? So I'm like, dude, me or 100 other coaches, no one will be keeping that girl off the stage. It's not me. That girl wants to compete.
Absolutely. I have to thank my track background because I've said this before and it might rub some people the wrong way, but running track in college was so difficult. It was so much hard work. Not only that, it was like I didn't get to do it on my own time. They tell you to show up this time, you have to show up this time. Even if you don't feel good, even if you're tired, you still have to show up. Whereas now I'm lucky enough just to kind of train on my own time, do cardio on my own time. And I remember doing 400 meter repeats on the track till I threw up. So my event in college was the 400 meter hurdles. Tough race, a lot of lactic acid buildup. But after the races, I would always feel like I would have to throw up. My legs would be all jiggly. I'd be wobbly. And training for track, in my opinion, was much more difficult than training for bikini. And again, I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, but prepping for bikini is a walk in the park compared to college track, in my opinion. Diet's more difficult, though, I will say that. It's more restrictive in bikini prep. But as far as the actual physical workouts themselves, it was much harder in track. So I'm glad I went through that, because it makes everything else seem much easier. So yeah, like I said, the diet's definitely more difficult, but luckily for me, I'm not so much of a foodie. That doesn't mean I don't like food. Of course, I like food, but I don't obsess over it as much as most competitors do. So that's my benefit.
Yeah, you're lucky with that one.
Yes. And also, I got to thank my parents for not only getting me into sports, but some decent genetics to work with. So thank you, Mom and Dad. Appreciate that.
You said your mom's got some muscular legs.
My
right?
mom has the same shape of hamstring as me.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, she does. She didn't play sports, but I can tell it's there. All right, next question. Do you think they bring it back to Vegas next year? Oh, Adam, go ahead and answer this one. We know the secret.
Yes, they are bringing it back to Vegas. And it seems, we'll see. This is just word on the street is it's going to be here for a while, and we hope that that's the case. It's just such a grand event to be in Vegas, honestly. Yes. And for the reason it was in Orlando, so you guys know, was originally during 2020, it was kind of up in the air if they could have it in Vegas. So they wanted to lock it in Orlando. And so because they locked it in for a couple years, that was the reason why it went back there again this time. So the plan is from what I'm hearing, it's going to be in Vegas. And I think that it deserves to be in Vegas or some grand place like that where, I think Orlando's great for families, but when you get done, there's not a lot to do after the show. In Olympia, you come out here, you have a great time, you go to a show, you go to dinners. I mean, everything's here, pool parties. So it's just the place it needs to be.
Absolutely. So we don't know what hotel it'll be at, but it will be here. So that makes me happy. Super convenient for us. Are you going to travel several days ahead to Florida for body adaptation, etc.? Yes. So we've mentioned it before. If you go from a dry climate like here in Vegas and you go to a humid climate like Orlando, Florida, you're going to notice a little bit of water retention. It's almost like your skin is just like soaking up that moisture.
Yeah, that's and it goes the other way too. It's funny is I've prepped mainly in dry places. So Denver and then Vegas, right? The two places that I had gyms at. And when someone goes from, you don't really realize it unless you're traveling out, but when someone goes to Florida or this really humid place, they just start soaking it up. Their skin gets softer. They get more, it's like a sponge, just soaks it up. And some people, it's not much at all. There's like no difference. And sometimes it's like, man, what happened? Like you just soaked up like 3 pounds of water, And so, I think that the longer you're there, the more your body adapts. So you don't get that instant fill up. I think something happens like the first 2 days you're there, you get a lot of it and then it kind of subsides after that. I don't know. Yeah.
So just as an abundance of caution here, we're going out on Monday so that we can acclimate to the climate. If I have any water retention, I can get rid of it, get on the time schedule and everything else like that. So there is a 3-hour time difference. So it's nice to kind of get on the schedule. A full decade since you arrived on the scene. I hope you get your fourth. What color suit for the decade O? Honestly, I'm not kidding you. I still don't know. I can tell you it's between red or green. But I keep going back and forth. I really it's a hard time because here's the thing. Green is me. I am green.
Yeah.
When you think of Ashley, you think of green. Okay. And it is the same color I wore 10 years ago. So this is the 10-year anniversary of my very first Olympia victory. I feel like the personality of green is like fresh, fun, bubbly kind of. But then again, red is classy.
Yeah.
Red commands power. It's like, look at me, It's difficult. Difficult, yeah. I will say too, I think what's maybe leaning me more towards the green a little bit is not as many people can pull off the green, but more people can pull off red. So I would assume you'll see more red on the Olympia stage than green. And I like the fact that it's like a little more unique.
Yeah.
So
probably, I'm going to just guess that if you take the top 15 girls, you're probably not going to have anyone besides you in green. At least from what I've seen of who I think, I've never seen any of them wear green. So there's that benefit, and you'll probably see 15, let's say, 4 reds, 5 reds, something like that. So it's tough because red, purple, blue, you're going to see a lot of that,
Yeah.
It's tough.
I like to be the unique. And then I always use that green emoji heart. So then what? What is that emoji heart for then that I keep using? You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's tough because red does look good on you too.
Red does look good. It's like a different vibe though. It's like more of like a sophisticated vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sophisticated, but maybe a little too common for my liking. But I don't know. I probably won't even know till like the day before the show. But I'll have choices. I will say that. I'm bringing choices in case I change my mind. So
it's good that people get to see this side of it though and talk about the colors because people don't really, they just go, oh, my favorite color is this. And I'm like, no, that's a different look. It's like a different presentation, So, yeah. So
I know you like my hair straight when I'm in red.
I do.
But I definitely want to wear it like big curls because I think it looks, I don't know, a little more.
You can't really go wrong with red or with the straight or curly. But
I haven't worn my hair straight yet this year. I should have tried it. Oh, well. Yeah. It is easier to style, but yeah. All right. So if you guys could help us out, let me know in the comment section below. Should I wear red or should I wear green? Because I can't decide. What is your backstage vibe? Pumping up the whole time, chatting, snacking, or posing? Oh my gosh. Tell them about my backstage vibe, Adam.
You know what? You're pretty good backstage. You're not too nervous. You're kind of, you're there early. Here's Ashley. She's going to be there the first one there. That's going to be Ashley. So
yes.
There could be, it's funny. You're always the first one there because you never want to run into a situation where the show went faster and something changed and you're going to be waiting anyway. So she's just like back there first, but she's pretty chill. You're pretty chill backstage.
I would also say I'm to myself.
Yeah.
Some girls are chatting and like dancing backstage. That's not me. I think a lot of times people think I'm super mean and standoffish because I'm like sometimes I'm in the corner just kind of by myself, like getting in the zone. But yeah, I think like some people get like disappointed when they meet me backstage because they expect me to be a lot more bubbly and like friendly. But it's just that backstage, I'm like usually like so in the zone, like I'm getting a little nervous, getting a little clammy. I'll of course practice posing a lot. I will pump up like crazy too backstage. Backstage, I'm so paranoid. I will be pumping up for a long time, a long time.
And you do get a good pump. Ashley's a good pumper. Like her body does get, like you could see it when she pumps really well.
Yeah.
So that's a blessed genetic to have, where you get that like, you know, it's like a bicycle tire.
Yeah. So I'll be pumping up. How do you decide on your makeup look for the show? I usually do just about the same each time. It's pretty consistent. I will say my colors, I usually just do like, I'll do smoky gold or like a smoky rose gold, like a pinkish rose gold. I don't stray too far away from that. It's usually pretty simple, but I do my own makeup in case you didn't know. I prefer it that way. I like to be in control of my time. I don't want anything stressing me out. Like if a makeup artist is late or if they do it bad and I have to redo it myself, I just would rather be in control of that. So on show day, I'm always doing my own makeup. Hair, I'll probably get that done because I'm not as good with hair as I am with makeup, but I feel pretty confident about my makeup. Will only the top 10 in bikini be doing their full posing routine? There are 52 girls. So yeah, you know what's funny is remember when they made the new rule last year after Olympia and they're like, only the winners of shows get invited to Olympia. And everyone's like, oh my God, there's going to be so much less, but there's only 2 less.
Yeah.
Only 2 less girls from last year.
That's crazy when you think about the timeline, because the timeline changed, you know, because it's a month earlier. The cutoff was a month earlier, right? And so, was it not?
I don't know.
I think it was a month earlier because the show's a little bit earlier. So I thought it was a little earlier. So you thought, you know, I was like, oh, there's going to be a lot less people and there's no point system now. So there's 3 more people. And but yeah, nope.
Yeah, because I think there's just more shows. There's more shows popping up all over the place and a lot more international shows too. So word on the street, it was confirmed that there's a time limit. I know that of 45 seconds in the posing routine. So that's actually good for me because 1, my routine's already pretty short anyway. I don't like to do a lot of frills. I don't like to do a lot of spins. I like to keep it simple. But also with 52 girls, can you imagine if 52 girls took a freaking minute and a half on stage? If you allowed everyone to do a minute and a half, I think Adam would be getting cramps in his butt cheeks sitting in the stands.
Well, you're going to, it's also a disadvantage for like timing of your last name, you know, too. Yeah. Like if you're the first girl to go out and you got to wait 90 minutes again, because that's what it would be. If it was a minute and a half with about 10 seconds to get someone from one person leaving to the next person coming and the intro, right? That's 90 minutes of posing, right?
That's just of the individuals.
Just individuals before comparisons, before callbacks, before anything. I mean, you're talking 2 hour plus show at that point. I mean, at that point, when you're on your feet for that long, things become concerns, you know? So yeah, I'm glad that they're going to shrink it down. I hope that everyone sticks to it. And yeah.
But, exactly. But as far as they're doing the full routine, so you won't know who the top 10 are, obviously, until after prejudging. So what that means is during prejudging, everyone does their full routine. But I can say this, every single time I've competed in the Olympia, only the top 10 did their full routine at finals. Sometimes they won't have them even come back at finals, sometimes not. If they do come back, it's usually just a quick intro where they'll state the competitor's name, you just wave and then walk across the stage or something like that. But yeah, so if they're taking the same pattern as they have in years past, only the top 10 will do the full routine at finals. So there you go. Do you have a target body fat you aim for? This is a good question for Adam because we haven't tracked my body fat in a while.
Yeah, I'll say to everyone out there, don't really worry about the body fat percentage. It's not a body fat contest. It's good to have as like a rule of thumb. So for example, if she hits the perfect body fat and we're like, that's the perfect look, you know? If we have the data, it's great to see how far you are from that. If you're going show to show, but everything changes show to show. So it really doesn't matter. Remember, it's a look in bodybuilding, and that's what the judges are going for. No one's going to come up with calipers and be like, who's leaner in body fat? That's who wins. So it's a look. And the problem with body fat is, let's say we saw her perfect look at 14-ish% body fat, which is about probably where she's at, 14 range. If she gets bigger in muscle the next year and we go for 14 again, she's going to look leaner with more muscle at 14% than she did the year prior. So the more muscle you have, the more it's going to pop through the body fat. So if she gets so big, she might end up going up to 15% body fat to have the same look, right? So I would not get like kind of put in handcuffs to your body fat. I would say just go off the look, and that's going to be the best marker for you.
Absolutely. So not only that, there's competitors with a variety of body fat percentages. You'll see some girls leaner, some girls softer. It's all what looks best on you. But yeah, I couldn't tell you what my body fat is that we aim for. Like you said, it's probably around the 14s or so. A lot of people think it's a lot leaner than that, and it's not. But, it's something we keep an eye on. So if we have some signs that I'm getting too lean, like if we see any striations or anything like that, or I look a little flat and depleted and bony, of course, we got to put on a little fluff, but there is no target that we aim for. How long is your prep for a show? What a hard question to answer. A good question. Because I feel like I'm always in the gray area of prep.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's a different athlete. Ashley's a different athlete, so it's just different. She's always really close to show. So preps can be a couple weeks all the way to 12 weeks, just kind of depends. But I don't even think the last time you did a full 12-week prep was, though. I mean, usually it's been like 6 to 8 weeks, 4 weeks, because she stays within target. So that's the benefit of staying within target, is that you can jump into a show. If there's a cool show coming up and she's like, hey, I want to go to wherever, somewhere in Europe. It's 3 weeks away. All right, you're 4 pounds away. Let's go for it. Why not?
Mm-hmm. So. Absolutely. And I think it's also a little bit hard to answer too, because what exactly is prep? Does that mean actively trying to get leaner? Does that mean lowering your calories? Does that mean increasing your cardio? Because, for this show, I didn't even start doing cardio till like maybe 6 weeks out. And I started with like 1 session per week, and then 2, and then 3, and so on and so on. But during the off season, my mini off season, I didn't do any cardio. So I think it was like 2 months I wasn't doing any cardio at all. So it all depends on what you consider prep. But yeah, I like to hang out in that gray zone a lot.
What will your new shape be like at the Olympia?
Well, Adam and I have been working really hard to bring up the quads. I actually think I'm a little more juicy in my quad. And of course the upper body, the whole year I've been really going at it. So I do think I put on a little bit of quad. Yeah.
I think so too. I think your quads and your shoulders, when it's all put together and filled out, people are going to be very impressed with your year-to-year progress. I think visually you'll be able to see it. I think visually it's there, because I've never heard so many people talk about your shoulders as I have this year.
You know what? I'm getting more, like, on my day-to-day life. It's funny because I'm getting more compliments like on my arms and shoulders and my legs. And I'm like, what? Used to be the opposite. Like, you know what I mean? Like my day-to-day, like you go into a gas station and so yeah, lots of arm compliments.
I can imagine you getting those. You're like, thank you
like
so
you're making
much.
My shoulders blush. Stop it. But yeah, so hopefully the hard work shows on stage. Only time will tell once I'm, on stage. Yeah. But I think I got it. I got a little juiciness going on.
You've been one of the best, if not the best, at adapting to the constant evolution of bikini. That is something that cannot be understated. You've done a great job with that. So, I mean, that's a hard thing to do. Good job on that. Seriously, that's incredible that you have.
How's this prep different than the others? So, assuming they're talking about the Olympia prep in comparison to my regular shows, oh my gosh, so much more pressure. So much more pressure. It's so much more, how do I say it? Like,
it's heavy.
I take it more seriously. Not that I don't take the other one seriously, but this one I'm like, oh, you better not slack on this cardio today. Like, you know what I mean? Because the thing about the Olympia is, you sign your contract months in advance. It's not like I can push back my show date. Like with any other show, the contract is due like the week before. And let's say I'm prepping for a show and just things aren't progressing like I'd like. And maybe it's taking me a little bit longer to get leaner or whatever the case may be. I could always just be like, I'm not ready for this one. I'll just hold off on this one and compete again at a show in 2 weeks, wherever it may be. But the Olympia, you can't do that. It's there. You can't move it. You got to prep for it. So you better be ready. So we try to be ready ahead of time.
Yeah. The goal for this, and we'll hopefully it works out. The goal for this is to be ready, like way too ready, like a week ahead. And then we can fill out comfortably, eat into the show, have some room if the humidity gets a hold of her in Florida. So that's the plan. So, when you're 7 weeks out from a show, when it's the Olympia and you have actually 7 weeks, we're gonna be like, oh, you're really 5 weeks out kind of thing. Like that's the mentality. So it's a heavier weight on her. It's just a lot of pressure. It's a heavier show. It's like a real, like how you say it's business. It's like we have to do this. We have to do it this day, and you have to be your best.
Ifs, ands, or buts. Yeah. You just got to get it done. But yeah, exactly what you said. Hopefully, everything goes well, and I can have a nice, easy, relaxing peak week with minimal cardio. I feel ready. I feel like I can carb up. So that's the goal. So I think we've got enough questions for a part 2. So I'm going to end the video here. So make sure you stay tuned for part 2 coming soon.